What's up, everybody? It's Josh. Welcome back to the channel. I want to talk about some really weird but kind of awesome new reports out there about Kang and about the multiverse, about where we're going from here after Loki, and just in general with the MCU. Now, you guys know I want to take this to a Secret Wars place, and yes, I will be talking about how I think that just like the Infinity Stones all led up to Infinity War and Endgame in the first saga of the MCU, that we are now in a new saga, and this saga is going to be much shorter and culminate with Secret Wars, another multiversal war, perhaps. And on that note, I actually wanted to say that I'm going to be sitting down with Rob from Comics Explained over on our live streaming channel, and we're going to talk all about this, the multiversal wars, Secret Wars, and why I think that's where Marvel is headed. And Rob, of course, is an expert on all things Marvel Comics, and so I'm really looking forward to bouncing ideas off of him, asking him different questions about that. So go check that out over on the live streaming channel. We're going to be doing it live tomorrow, but it will be available as a video, kind of like a long podcast type thing after that. First, let's talk about this one. This was posted on the Marvel Studios Spoilers subreddit. It's all about how an actress is going to be playing Gargantos in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now, when I originally heard about this, I did not think this was going to be that big of a deal, but the more I looked into it, the more interesting it got. According to the website that this was on, it's not just the fact that she's playing Gargantos, but she's playing Gargantos 2, which implies a variety of different Gargantos, or perhaps a Gargantos that is a variant likely from the multiverse. Also, that character has strong ties to the character of Namor, who is heavily rumored, and not even really rumored at this point, it's pretty much confirmed to be in Wakanda forever. Now, another crazy report, and this is coming from We've Got This Covered, and I know We've Got This Covered, not the best source of things. They've gotten a lot of stuff wrong. There seems to be a lot of negativity towards them, which I think is frankly earned. However, very interesting to me, there are some other insiders and scoopers that have supported them. And I remember reading on the Illuminati a long time ago about how they had actually been right on a couple of things, meaning We've Got This Covered have been right on a couple of things. And they did have the Captain America 4 before it was announced. Okay, so I'm not saying that they've completely earned back their reputation, but I am at least going to talk about this. And I think you'll see why in a moment here. Okay, so they're talking about how obviously Kang is going to be a big deal in the MCU, okay? But it says here he might be about to become even more dangerous when he teams up with another iconic Marvel villain. We've heard from our sources, the same ones who told us about Anthony Mackie's Captain America 4 before that was confirmed, that Majors Kang will team up with none other than Doctor Doom. From what we've been told, Marvel will have the future-dwelling dictator joining forces with Victor Von Doom, who we know is on his way to the franchise too at some point soon. Okay, so pretty freaking cool. Again, let's, take that with a grain of salt. But I wanted to explain why I originally thought that Secret Wars was going to be the next film, the next big ensemble, very crazy Infinity War Endgame level event for the MCU. Then I want to talk about why I think that is still going to be the case and what Feige is doing with Loki, but also all the other properties moving forward to set that up and to set it up way faster than you might think. So why do I think Secret Wars is the next big event for Marvel? Well, number one, it all has to do with the teases that the Russo brothers did back in the day when they were promoting Avengers Endgame. At the time, they knew they were going to be walking away for some time. And a lot of the different questions that were asked to them about coming back, well, they just frankly teased Secret Wars. Like, it wasn't even subtle. They literally said it in multiple different interviews. Doing something like Secret Wars would be pretty exciting. And they even talked about getting the Fox properties back and having the Fantastic Four and the X-Men, and how something like Secret Wars with all those characters would be absolutely incredible. And we talked more about this in 2019, but the Russos have talked about how they still go to monthly meetings with different people at Marvel Studios. They're still staying in touch very much with what is going on. And I frankly think that even now they are likely involved in what is going on with the multiverse as it leads towards Secret Wars, because I think they will ultimately come back and helm that movie or series of films. The second major reason that I think Secret Wars is the next big crazy thing has to do with Charles Murphy. Now, if you've been watching my channel for any amount of time, you probably know the name Charles Murphy. He is a scooper out there, an insider, and he is very, very good at what he does. He has a very good track record, and he indicated and sort of teased it out right after Endgame that Secret Wars was likely coming. In fact, I talked to Charles Murphy on a live stream over 2 years ago now in 2019 talking about Secret Wars, and he said, when I asked him about it, he said he couldn't really tell me much, but he did say, well, there's a reason that I have the mystery film in 2024 with the hushing or secret emoji on it. And I know many of you are like, dude, 2024, that's way too soon to do a freaking Secret Wars. You gotta have all this other stuff before you do a Secret Wars. Calm down. I'm gonna explain that as well, because I have an answer for that. But before we get into that, let's talk about the third major reason that I think Secret Wars is the next big crazy thing. And this is because I was sort of told this by some people that work at Marvel in late 2019 at New York Comic-Con. At the time, man, we were all just still reeling in the MCU glory. And we were very much excited for everything that was coming next for Marvel. And I remember just getting really hyped up and talking to some people about what was going on. And they alluded to the fact that everybody at Marvel more or less knew that that was the direction they were going in, something Secret Wars and something involving a battle world and other versions of Marvel characters. Now, let's talk about why it's way too soon, or rather, it isn't too soon to do a Secret Wars. Let's talk about 2024, that original date for a Secret Wars battle world type of film. Now, yeah, that would have been only 5 years as compared to a 10-year-long saga that you got for the lead up to Infinity War and Endgame. But remember what Kevin Feige said in 2019. He said, we have a 5-year plan. And this was mostly when asked about things like the Fantastic Four and the X-Men. 5 to 6 years out from 2019 is 2024 and 2025. That same time period that this plan that Feige had would have been enacted. And you must remember that everything that was announced in 2019 was a part of that 5-year plan, but he had a tentative idea of all of the other projects that would make up the subsequent years leading up to 2024, which weren't actually announced at San Diego Comic-Con. Now that we're all past that and we're in a post-Loki world for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Feige has announced to the public that he just had a meeting with all of the higher-ups at Marvel Studios talking about the rules of the multiverse and how to capitalize on the promise of fun with regards to the multiverse and how crazy things are going to be in Phase 4. To me, that sounds like this thing, the multiverse that, is now sort of breaking or in chaos, is going to be a massive part of everything that is going on moving forward from here. And remember, Loki was always planned to be, I believe, this kind of a show, to tee this sort of a thing off. So regardless of what changes Feige made in 2020 because of everything that was going on, Loki and the Doctor Strange movie, which are still both really important to his multiversal plans, they were both crafted still more or less to the plan that he had for that 5-year thing, which would have been at 2024 or 2025. So I basically think that no matter what, Feige was going to lead us towards a Secret Wars. Loki was more or less always going to do what Loki did, and Doctor Strange was more or less always going to do what it's about to do, and that is going to be absolutely bananas. I mean, just recently we have heard that there's going to be the Supreme Strange, the sort of darker version of Doctor Strange from the What If series, that character is supposed to be in Doctor Strange 2 Into the Multiverse of Madness. Peggy Carter from the Guardians of the Multiverse, she's supposed to be in Doctor Strange 2 Into the Multiverse of Madness. And I think, just looking at how ridiculous I think the Spider-Man movie is going to be, I think Doctor Strange is going to amp that up to the next level. level. And again, that is the plan that I think is being created for Secret Wars. So let's go back to Kang working with Doctor Doom. This, if true, could be an explanation for how they are going to take us to a battle world where you have these awesome big players and villains mostly that did play a big role in the original Secret Wars and in the Secret Wars that Jonathan Hickman did. And again, I know 5 years seems like it's not that far away, but guys, 4 years from now, in 2025, I mean, to me, that just feels like an eternity away. And you're also talking about Marvel Studios that's going to start doing like 6 shows a year and maybe 3 to 4 movies. I mean, that's like 10, 11, maybe 12 pieces of content each year. You're going to be able to introduce so many different characters, so many different teams, and so many different villains. And on top of that, you can do fun variant versions of all of these different characters as well. And I think, plainly speaking, what Feige is really going to do is set up a bunch of dope characters over the next 5 years that will then interact with some of the OG characters. And I do think he's going to bring back OGs like Tony Stark and Chris Evans Cap and have all of them play together on Battle World or for a Secret Wars, okay? So I really do believe that that is the plan. And we're going to start to see all of these fun things that will be utilized further in a crazy multiversal thing. So maybe multiple Doctor Stranges, maybe a variant version of Iron Man, maybe, Doctor Doom, but maybe variant versions of Doctor Doom, Kang the Conqueror and all this sort of crazy stuff. But the reality is Doom and his ability to make the time machine is central to Kang becoming who he is. And Doctor Doom and Kang have teamed up many different times in the comic books. I think it would be pretty freaking awesome to make this new Secret Wars harken back to the Secret Wars from back in the day and really have villains versus heroes for some kind of crazy fight to control the universe or the multiverse. That would be really freaking exciting. And so I kind of see that as a thread that's going on. And Doctor Doom has been involved in, I believe, every single Secret Wars. And it would just make sense to establish that character with Kang and sort of pull all of these pieces together to give us, honestly, what I just think will be so epic that it will really dwarf Infinity War and Endgame. Like, they will legit feel like appetizers, like down the line after we have all of this content, they will feel like appetizers to this next phase of content and these next big event films that I just think it's going to blow people away. So I wanted to sort of talk about some of the new rumors out there and again remind you why I am so convinced that Secret Wars is coming and why I'm so hyped about it. So again, make sure you check out the live stream I'm going to do with Rob from Comics Explained, where we break down our thoughts and have a conversation about the multiversal war, possibly Secret Wars coming. And make sure you subscribe to this channel where we will be bringing you all the latest nerdy good bits and things and awesome times and fun stuff to it. Subscribe. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.